Oh, I'm in private chat.
I love that when you spend the first 10 minutes in private chat and you feel like, why isn't anyone here? But they are. They are here, Jordan.
I blame Alex.
Hey, merch reference.
And what's Nikki's got the Avengers.
I have the Revengers.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, I guess we should tell people that Marty couldn't join us tonight. So Nick is here, which, you know, two guys and another guy, still true.
Still not sure who's the other guy though.
I think that's part of the bit. I think that's the bit.
Pre-show was they're already ignoring me. Just spoiler alert. But you know, I digress.
Yeah, we'll probably bring it up again.
Nick, so it's good to have you here, though.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I'm glad I got pulled up from the bullpen.
Yeah, man. If you're a bullpen member, then we got a good bullpen.
Cool.
That's the all-star team. You know, like when every person can be a pitcher. You know, like not everyone has to be a catcher.
I mean, I don't mind catching sometimes.
Catching's fun. Good.
You know, I caught for 8 years of my life, and then my knees really, really showed wear and tear from it. This is different.
Nick, have you started your podcast yet?
What's that?
Have you started your podcast yet?
I'm trying to get my friends to get on board with it. It's been a pain in the butt.
Who are these friends?
Oh, I did a podcast with them like years ago. We did it like every week, and then all of a sudden it just stopped for some reason. But
what was that podcast?
It was called the Tuesday Night Hootenanny Cottage Cheese and Farm Report. We would
hold on. Can you say that again?
Yes, it's the Tuesday Night Hootenanny Cottage Cheese and Farm Report.
So THNNFR for short.
Yes.
Cool.
And that's cottage cheese, like the food.
Like the food, yes.
Cottage cheese. There's two C's somewhere in there. Cottage cheese farm report. Got it.
And what would you guys discuss on this Hootenanny cottage cheese farm report?
We would discuss TV, movies, a lot of music, because we were all music fans and musicians, and we actually got to interview a lot of members of bands that we all listened to. So that was really fun. I got to,
like local bands or
no, like national, like pop punk bands, you know, from back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and stuff like that. And they were just putting out new albums, and we say, hey, you want to come on and promote it? And we were just a podcast out of a town that had 700 people and broadcasting in the world, but we actually had a pretty good following, and ended up producing a couple of other people's podcasts during that time too, and that was really fun.
Very cool. And then what? And then was it kind of like family? Like everyone entered into the family phase of life after that, or?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. One of my friends kind of just had enough and decided, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this anymore, because we would actually do it like every week. There was like really no breaks. We just would just like it was Sunday night, 6:30. It's time to record something, but it was really fun. I set up like a almost like a morning show, radio show talk format kind of thing, where I even had a soundboard of like drops and stuff like that. So I'd catch them saying something inappropriate, and I would save that sound, and I would play it the next week after.
So this sounds like a really fun idea. Can we do like a morning TikTok show?
Yeah, it was Yeah, it was like a morning show, only we did it on Sunday nights, and we didn't have. Right. There was no streaming like this, but we would just record it, and then I would just edit it and post it.
Beautiful, I love it. But I'm moving on to the idea of taking this and what if we did like a week in TikTok, and sort of did like a show where it was
you could
like,
do that.
No,
brilliant.
We can do that. I would like to do this.
TikTok won't like it, but we could sure cram that.
Who cares? This is great.
The morning show I listen to is nothing but TikTok recaps. That's what they play on. It's like, oh, we saw this on TikTok, and they play it. They play the sound.
But even better, we could be like, Whitney has a crush on Holiday. Like best dressed goes to Sonia, soy sauce mom. And like we can actually be like giving like superlatives each week, as for like messiest eater in the cafeteria, and then show somebody's clip of them eating while talking.
I like it so much. Let's do it.
It has nothing to do with anything we've talked about, but it's idea created and now.
But won't it end up just being us promoting our own videos?
Oh, here, that's even a better idea.
This dress is me again. Hey!
I'm not very good at promotion, so I have no idea.
biggest douchebag is Marty again. Hey!
Let's see what his twin did.
Let's try to play a game. We're going to play 2 games, essentially, and the topic
is... We got an intro.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm blowing my load.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Two Guys and One Guy podcast.
2 guys.
That's not the name.
Welcome to Two Guys and Another Guy podcast sensation for the 2020s. 20s. Where we got 2 guys and another guy that talk about things that we are probably not qualified for. Things like sex, childbirth, and Bill Cosby. And today we talk about fears is our topic today. Fears. Not Sasha Fierce, but fears, like fears. All right, was that a good enough intro?
Works for me.
Wait.
Sorry. I missed a week, so I'm rusty. So welcome, and we have Nikki with us because Marty couldn't get a table at a restaurant or something, and so he's skipping. So we pulled Nikki in. Nikki, welcome. Thank you for.
Did he pull the "Don't you know who I am" card?
That's what I asked. I thought maybe a little pelvic sorcery could get him a table like that, but
Yeah, that was literally what Jordan said. Was, did you tell him who you were?
Did you put a 20 in your pants and then some pelvic sorcery and?
Nothing? Well, and he's like, oh, we still got like 30 minutes before we get a table. I mean, 30 minutes. So like what? Like, has he been waiting for a table for like an hour already? The podcast starts.
He knows what day. He knows what day it is, right?
Wait, still.
He's on vacation right now. He's in.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. He's on
Baton
vacation.
Rouge, I believe, and he's with his twin brother James. So like he hasn't seen him in a little bit. So
James is such a douche.
It's genetic. Let's play a game. I want to talk to me like a 5-year-old. And Jordan, you're going to be the dad, and you're going to talk to Nick, and you're going to explain to Nick why his fear of the dark is irrational.
Oh, okay. Come here, son. What seems to be bothering you?
And do it as Vincent Price.
I don't know who that is.
Do it as
Price.
Fine. Do it as Matthew McConaughey.
Well, boy. Hold on, let me get a shirt back on here.
No shirt.
All right, I'll just leave it off. Daddy can come to you.
Daddy, can you at least put pants on?
Boy, what have I told you, man? These boys gotta breathe.
I don't, Daddy, I don't want to see your fruit or your looms, please.
Well, listen. All I know is that I keep getting older, but they stay the same size.
It's just the fear of the dark. Let's fear the dark.
Daddy, I don't like the dark. It makes me nervous.
This is the worst Matthew McConaughey. I'm trying to even I can't even get into the.
You got to say at least the phrase.
He's got like a. All right.
Do it.
All right. So let's see here. All right, son.
I'm afraid Kate Hudson's going to attack me.
Well, the thing you got to do, I almost turned into son.
Do it as Brad Pitt from Inglourious Bastards. It's a southern accent. Do it as a bad southern accent.
As a plantation owner.
Boy, my only southern accent is boy.
Do it as Foghorn Leghorn. Do it as Foghorn Leghorn.
I say.
I got this. All right.
I say, Dad. I say the dark's gonna get me.
All right, Nick, you're the father. You're the father. Tell Jordan why it's irrational that he's scared of the dark, and do it as Foghorn Leghorn.
Now listen here, boy. I say you need to go to bed and get some shut eye.
But Daddy, I'm a girl.
You're a man, and you're gonna. I say, boy. We've been over this before. You're a boy.
I'm scared of the dark.
What makes you scared of the dark? I say.
It's too dark. I think there's ghosts and monsters.
You know there's no such thing as ghosts. I say.
Did I say do it as Adam Sandler doing a female? Was that part of the bit? Was that added?
The thing, Dad.
Listen here, Jack or Jill. As the case may be.
And they're all laughing at me.
Keep going. I like this. I like where this went.
Go into my bed and they laugh at me.
Nick, change yours to Mark Wahlberg. Say hello to your mother for me. How you doing?
Listen, child. Sorry, I had a bunch of very loud thunder boom.
Switch it to Elmer Fudd. Can you do Elmer Fudd? Nope.
It's time to go nighty-night. It's time to go to sweep. You're going to go to sweep. Sweep, little child. I will shoot the ghost with my gun because I hunt ghosts.
But how can you see the ghost when it's so dark?
They're very, very crafty.
Okay, all right, that's enough of that.
I'm Willie, a ghost buster.
Okay. I will be the dad, and Jordan, I want to talk to you about stranger danger. So, Nick, feel free to pimp us both out throughout this.
Dad, I talked to a stranger the other day.
You're Wilford Brimley.
Hi, I have diabetes, and when you have diabetes, you have to talk to many people. Son, you have to know when it's stranger danger or when the person is trustworthy.
But he was holding a piece of candy that I like.
Was it almond joys or mounds? Because
Jordan, you're Mr. Rogers.
There was definitely a mound.
Because one has nuts. And you know how we feel about nuts. When my blood sugar is low, they're good. So when my blood sugar is low,
they were definitely nuts.
Alex, you're Kit from Knight Rider.
which is funny because that's just the teacher from Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
Mr.
so
Feeney.
that's all I think. I just
We can
think
go
of
that
Mr.
route, too.
Feeney. It's the same person. It's the same characters. That's sorry. It's in my head. Hello. You have to see people all the time, and when they're friendly, that's when you should question whether or not they are good or bad.
He was friendly.
You should come. You should come get an adult.
He said he knew mommy
and run inside the school. Look, I'm not sure what that has to do.
Join your Steve Urkel.
Was it Brad? Was it Brad? Was it Brad Johnson?
Did I do that?
Son of a bitch.
He had a picture.
He's not a stranger. He's not a stranger.
My mommy.
Yeah.
Alex here, Balki Bartakamus. I'm just doing the whole TGIF lineup.
Oh my gosh. Cousin, I see you. We talked to you, son. Here.
Belky.
We see people that are on the street, and we run away. We go.
Belky, all I'm saying is that this was a very nice gentleman.
I don't care. You have to go. You can't.
It's different here in America, Belky. Everyone's nice and no one is mean.
No, you have to get his ID, ask how old he is and his original hair color.
Alex, you're Alf.
Hey, love cats. If it's furry, you eat it. You know.
This gentleman had a cat in his van, and he said I could pet it.
I Chihuahua. Not one of the phrases I say. I'm an alien. Clearly, my Alf is just talking about myself. This
Jordan, your teller from Penn and Teller.
The guy I live with a family, and they seem nice, but like they just took me in without questioning it. Yeah. So strangers are not they're great. It turned it like Andrew Dice Clay. Like they're it really got aggressive there. Alf really was a New Yorker. Good.
Alf wasn't Alf.
Hey, Willie.
There we go. That's a much better Alf. That concludes that bit. Let's talk about actual fears.
Guys, I just have to say quick before we go to the next thing here. I really am better at impressions than this podcast. I think I'm getting stage fright. I can do better. I just wanted to say that. You don't have to believe me. You don't even have to listen to me because I know you don't listen to me. You guys are both just sitting there.
No, I'm looking at a picture of my face.
On someone's swimsuit?
No, it's on the back of my shirt.
It's all wrinkly. That'll be like in 10 years.
Yeah.
Can you recreate that face now? What face did you make for that picture?
I can. And I will.
Nick, recreate that face.
That was horrible. That was nothing like
I know it was.
That
that was the wrinkles in the shirt. That's what the wrinkles in the shirt when you turn around.
Fair. That was the face of the shirt. Got it. None taken.
You totally have a face that should go on women's pants.
Oh, that's in the making. He needs to take panties. He needs to make new headshots, though. He needs a new face on his merchandise.
I made one, really. So I'm working on it.
Did you go with the full body?
No.
People are asking.
No, I'm not going.
Is Marty's double?
I am the Wish version of Marty's double.
Yeah, he's James's cousin.
He won a contest to be on the show.
Yeah. I
Jordan,
submitted enough Kool-Aid points.
You were talking about something.
I'm the other guy. All right. Your next
Yeah.
segment.
At my next segment, I just want to talk about actual fears, like serious stuff for a second. Like
Yeah.
we've talked before. I have like a fear of abandonment. That's a real thing. I don't fear death, but I fear dying before my time.
Yeah. Those are my biggest ones.
What do you consider your time?
Like not accomplishing my life goal, which is touching each and every one of you.
You haven't achieved that yet?
No.
Yeah, we could nail that out in just one trip to Atlanta.
I think it will take several trips to nail that out. Per se.
Yeah. So so those are good fears.
That was not the expected nomenclature.
Those are good fears.
Those are
good
fears. I like those.
Those are really good fears.
Validating.
Pretty nice. You know what? Out of all the fears, those are probably the best fears to have.
Good looking fears. Those are good looking fears. I wouldn't kick those fears out of bed.
I give those a
Rather I
solid
say
8.
those are dumb fears.
See if those fears have a
fears
system.
you have, Alex.
Oh, I get you. You're being nice, and here I am just pooping on your niceness.
Sometimes I talk and I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
Sometimes you breathe and you don't even know. Apparently, hey, I did it. Someone had to do it.
It wasn't me.
What about you, Nick? You got some fears?
Mine is the dying one. That's the one that will give me the biggest panic attack like that. Like if I really start thinking about it, going, I'm not going to be here anymore. And then I'm wondering about what happens to everyone else who is. And I get to miss out on everything that they experience. And that it breaks my heart. And I just get into a panic mode.
Jordan, what's one of your fears?
I was thinking about this, and but I'll start by saying I don't fear death, but I mean I shouldn't say that like that because I'm sure faced with it, if you kind of are in a situation that makes you kind of think about your own death as a reality, I'm sure that I'll be flooded with fears and things like that. And the only thing death related that I would consider a fear is I cannot imagine like my kids dying. Like it doesn't take long, and I don't know if that's a fear. Like maybe we should take a step back and define fear a bit, because it's just that to think about that just feels awful, and just thinking about losing a kid or a loved one, a close loved one.
Yeah, the what ifs.
For long, and then I just got
like, what if I had done something differently and this path hadn't happened? That would be what would crush me, would be playing that in my mind. What if I had, because in my head I have that similar thing where it's like, what if I was distracted? So that's why I get really frustrated when I'm pulled in a different direction and my kids need something, because it's like, what if I'm too distracted to be there when they needed me, and then they go off and try something that I should have been there to say, no, make sure daddy does this.
Right. Yeah, that'll really get you thinking, or even just thinking like about how your last conversation with them. Like if you think, if they don't come home tonight, what was the last thing that I said to them? Was I nagging them about getting their shoes on right, or was I giving them the biggest hug I could ever give them?
Well, now I have a kid that recently moved out, so now I have the fear of how he's living his own life and how he's doing.
Right.
The only thing I have to go on is that Life 360 app. We asked him to get a part of that, so I at least know he's home and safe. But other than that, he's on his own. I don't know what he's doing.
And that's hard to deal with, huh?
It's sometimes, but I mean, overall, he's a good kid, and I know he'll make the right decisions. But there's always that one, little thing that just pops in your head, going, I hope he's all right.
Sure.
Yeah, it really is a paradigm shift that parents have to have, I think, because you got to let your kids go at some point. You got to let
Mm-hmm.
them be, even at a young age. You're still parenting them and stuff, but like you still kind of got to give them room to breathe and be their own person, right? Like sometimes I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do everything to make sure that their life turns out a certain way. Or
Yeah, no,
I try.
I go ahead.
I said I
You try
tried
what?
to, and to make sure that my oldest two, they went on the right path. Of course, they didn't listen to a word I said, but so far they're not. They're alive, they're breathing, and they're doing stuff. So I mean, that's as good as I can. I call that a win. Still, they haven't lost a limb or anything like that.
Well, and I
Knock on
think
wood.
I think back to sometimes I'll do this exercise where I just kind of think about myself. Like, I'm raising my kids, and there's a lot of things that my parents tried to prevent me from doing. They were pretty strict parents and definitely wanted certain things for my life. And there's so much that I just didn't even listen to them on. I had to make my own mistakes on something. Sometimes we just have to, right?
I'm sorry, Jordan, what were you saying?
Well, it starts by choosing the right friends that'll listen to you and not ignore you. But no, you just think, because I turned out all right. Like I made tons of mistakes in my life, and like that's gonna be many people's story, right? They're gonna not take the advice given to them. They're going to make a mistake, or sometimes who's to say what advice is the right? Like you say avoid this because you'll be better. What if they were destined to do something else? Who knows?
I think about it like a video game. Like when they leave my house, like I've completed the game, and whatever I've done to kind of give that character strength, dexterity, agility, athleticism, wisdom. Like I view it as if like they're like a role playing character that I'm sending out to be a scout, and I hope that I did a good enough job that they survive. Very Oregon Trail, and that's the mentality I have right now. Is that once they leave, that like my job is pretty much done, and then it's their turn to play their own video game.
Yeah.
It's a weird, gosh. Doesn't
you have
everybody
to-
think like this?
And you have
No,
to
that's
keep your
actually a
hands out
good,
of control,
very
too.
good way of putting it.
So I don't
mean,
know if that's
I
how
feel,
it will go.
and sometimes you get to play the old wizard who gives wise advice when they come to you for questions,
Very much, I use that,
and that's the
wizard
best
card.
role to play.
Yeah.
I am, the wizard class.
But you know what? Like I was talking to my sister about this the other day, where it's like, really, I I know that something that is very important to me. I really enjoy inspiring people. I really enjoy like helping someone. So like offering advice that really helps them and makes their life better. And when people kind of, but you can't, like one thing that I have to struggle with is that you can't just force that on someone. So really there's a big part of it where you have to, especially when I'm thinking about my kids, like what I want is not to be a parent that just tells them advice. I want them to want advice. I want them to someday, when they're faced with decisions, that they know that they can come to dad and he'll offer some advice. But also, I think part of that is making sure you conduct yourself in such a way where you're not just telling them advice, like offering some wise advice, but like letting them choose. because no one really wants to go to someone for advice, and they just kind of say, "Well, you got to do this," you know. Here's what you got to do. This is the right way to do it, and you got to do, you know.
Can you do that again, but don't point your finger?
That should be my shirt.
What I do is I ask them what they think they should do, and then I'll either agree or disagree with it, and tell them why.
And then I give them a bill for $125 an hour, and I say, "I'll see you next week."
Ask them to see their insurance card.
Yeah, it's out of network. Don't worry. Let's do 2 truths and a lie. This seems like a good time to pull that card after the wizard card. Who wants to go first?
I can.
Okay, Jordan.
All right. 2 truths, 1 lie. I hate.
That's a lie. Sorry, go ahead. The fact that you said hate, I've never heard Jordan say hate. Go ahead.
I'm
just kidding. Ah!
Haunted houses. Number 2. My wife has been diagnosed with electrophobia.
Is it?
It's a fear of chickens or something. Number 3. I've only owned 1 No Fear t-shirt my entire life.
Okay, I'm going to say the third one's a lie. Your entire closet is nothing but No Fear. Like, it is just color-coded No Fear shirts. And it's definitely, you have like one for every day of the week. And like, it even says which day on the tag.
I'm actually going to go with that too.
Realistically, though, I would think you don't hate haunted houses, though, because of it's not real.
Did you guess, Nick? I missed it. I must have.
I think I'm going to go with number 2, the chickens.
That's correct, Nick. My wife has not been diagnosed with electrophobia, fear of chickens. No, I don't like haunted houses, man.
Is that really the term for it, though?
It is. Yeah, I looked it up.
Is it? Okay.
Now, I'm not going to say that she's not afraid of chickens, but she wasn't diagnosed with that. I'm sure that she doesn't.
Semantics.
She doesn't
yeah. All right, Nick, do you have your 2 truths and a lie for us?
All right. Mine are just simple. I fear things. So I fear that my son will experience the end of the world after we're gone. I fear that one day I'll be abandoned by everyone. And I fear I will lose my job and never find another.
I'm going to say the third one's not true.
Yeah, that's the one that stuck out to me. I feel like you know that you could get another job.
Yes, that is correct.
Especially the abandonment one, because we talked about it earlier in the show. So that was fun.
No, but that's interesting. The one about your son, like thinking about your kid experiencing the end of the world after his parents.
Yeah. I can't prepare him for that. I mean, I can't prepare myself for that, but if that's part of it, I can't prepare him for, the inevitable. I can't protect him from that.
And maybe that's part of it, is that you're not always, it's not always your job, I guess, to protect them. It is at some point you have to relinquish that.
That's where I become the wizard.
Sure. Watching from a distance in your crystal ball.
Flee, you fools.
I fear the elevators will crash. So I usually plan to jump at the last second, just in case. I fear fire because when I was little, I accidentally set the house on fire trying to light papers. And ever since then, I don't touch it. I fear when I get a skull pimple that it's actually an insect living inside me that's going to grow a family inside of my brain.
You're going to be on one of those shows.
Now I have a new fear.
We're into that now.
What was the second one? That one.
I fear fire because when I was little, I set my room on fire. Stack of papers. Ever since I don't touch it.
I'm going with the elevator.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning towards too. I've never seen you jump on an elevator.
How many elevators have we been on?
It's the fire one, huh?
So I don't fear fire. I don't fear fire. Yeah, that's the lie. I did actually set my house on fire when I was a kid. I would imagine I was a little pyromaniac. I no longer have that as a thing. But as a kid, I didn't know any better. And I was like, this huge stack of papers. Let me see if this lights, how this works. And like the entire wall got black. But past me had like a couple buckets and a towel ready to go. So like I just put it out. But like, boy, was that went up quick.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I don't jump in elevators, but I do plan. This is something that when I get on an elevator, I plan that if it crashes, if there's something where we go down, my thought process is I'm going to jump at the very last second. And that's an elevator thing. So that part's true.
How would you know it's the last second?
It doesn't have to be a rational fear.
He's just bouncing the whole time.
I'm just ready to jump at the
He's just pogoing it.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, if it's gonna crash, I'm gonna jump.
So
yes,
then,
it's in the semantics.
There's too many people in the elevator, do you get a little nervous? Like,
Just
let's say you're kind of packed in like sardines.
That's true, based on a different fear of claustrophobia that I have when I get stuck in a space. So I don't like to go in elevators. Yes, I will. I'm absolutely that person. Like when the max says like 12 and there are 14, I'm like, I'll get the next one. I will absolutely it's not that important.
Yeah. So do you have a lot of fears? Would you say that you have a long list of fears? Either of you? Both of you?
A lot of irrational ones.
And you know they're irrational, but that can't get that thought to change the fear.
I still sprint when leaving the basement after the lights turn out.
I don't mean to laugh.
I don't.
No,
wear,
I laugh at it too.
I don't wear jewelry.
It's irrational.
I don't wear jewelry because I think that my fingers will get crushed and I won't be able to get the rings off. So I don't wear. That's why I don't wear jewelry. It's a fear that I'm going to lose a finger.
Didn't Jimmy Fallon have almost lose a finger? Because of that very thing, like his wedding ring got caught on something, and it pulled his finger off, but they were able to get it back on or something.
You sure it wasn't James Franco in the movie 127 Hours?
28 days later.
It's affected by rage. So stupid. Oh my gosh, they couldn't have come up with anything. Can we talk about that for a second in movies and TV where things get greenlit? And I imagine how many different levels this had to go through, how many channels, and how each person was like, "Yeah, this is great. I wouldn't change a thing." Was there a person who was like, "Hey, have you guys read the rage part of this? I think I'm fired. Got it. Don't speak up. Lesson learned. I have a fear of speaking up."
Oh man. Do you feel like that? Here's I'll piggyback off that. Like, do you guys feel that you are people that do speak up? Like when you see something is wrong, like that. Like if you were in that situation, would you say something, or would you be like I'm not gonna even say anything.
I think now I would. Oh, younger me wouldn't have.
No.
I wasn't listening.
What about that bug in your head thing, Alex? Because what that made me think of, that speaking of fears, I was very scared of this for the longest time when I saw Carlton get eaten by ticks. Did you guys see the movie Tick? No?
And when you say Carlton, you mean from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah, Carlton. Yeah.
Alfonso Rivera?
Yeah, Carlton.
Okay.
From Silver Spoons?
He got eaten by ticks. He got ticks like inside of him. Ugh. And then they ate him and then turned into a big monster tick and like
Spoiler
you guys
alert.
didn't see the movie Tick? I guess I don't blame you. I don't
Dance. No, I didn't see that movie. But
It's on the list now.
I saw the show, like Monsters Inside Us, and it like every time now, like people had like things that lived inside them for like 6 months, and they're like, I used to get these headaches, and like it felt like something was like peanut butter jelly time.
Not like
I didn't know why, and you're just like,
This is why I don't go outside.
yeah,
this is why I'm pale.
When I get a skull pimple, I'm just like, nope, not today. No, you don't. You're not living inside me rent free. What'd you learn? What'd you guys learn today?
That Carlton was in a movie about ticks.
Yeah. Apparently, Alfonso Rivera did more things than host Dancing with the Stars.
Do not
and America's Funniest Home Videos.
Man. Do not watch that part. I'm telling you, you'll have nightmares.
I'm sure.
No more.
I'm just going to read the Wikipedia on it.
Dreams.
I learned that Jordan doesn't like to be ignored. And he's way better at impersonations than we think.
I did enjoy your Urkel, by the way.
Oh, man. I can totally do an Urkel, but I couldn't.
Your Matthew McConaughey needs some work. We'll practice.
My Alf needs work, so yeah, we'll get a list going.
Get yourself a Lincoln, and then you'll channel it. It's okay.
Yeah, get yourself a booger, and just start rolling it on your finger.
All
and
right,
randomly
all
look
right,
in your.
all right.
Yeah, there you go. That's the Matthew McConaughey.
Get over here. All right. Hey there, dollface. I'm Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, we'll see you next week. 2 guys and another guy. Good night.